Welcome back to the movement, guys. This is a special episode for me. This is episode number 10. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I can't even speak English today, man. I can hear the holy smokes, eh? I appreciate all you guys for showing love and support. I got a special guest in the building. This is one of my fellow kings, one of my lions, Imran Jaffer.
What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing?
My man. It's a long time coming, man. I've been wanting to have you on the podcast,
Yep.
You're a very inspiring individual. You came out on a jam for us, you know what I mean? Which I really appreciate you taking care of my family.
Yeah.
Right? But today the floor is yours. We want to know about you. We want to know about your successes. Most importantly, your failures. That's really what's most important at this point. Let's be honest.
Let's be real.
Let's be real. You won't succeed without failure. You know?
Absolutely. We won't succeed without failure. Won't succeed without struggle as well, too.
So tell me about Imran Jaffer today, man. Growing up.
First of
your
all,
story.
I want to say thank you, Joey, for Yussef for having me on here. You know what I mean? And I've been watching this for a while. I've been watching this guy's progress since day one. When he launched Monarchy, when he launched his roofing company and his overall company, and it's been extremely successful. And it's people like that kind of push me, that motivate me, and seeing fellow friends and do things like this, do their own thing, and crush it. So
that's love, man. I appreciate
it's
that.
a lot of love to be here too. You know what I mean? Like it's good when people start things like this and have that conversation and all that kind of stuff, because that's how you kind of grow, right? That's how you get better, by networking, by associating with people just like you, like-minded people.
By the way, not a lot of people said what you just said, eh?
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible. This is like the perfect case scenario. This is like textbook for what people want in terms of having a circle. People that really try to push each other, people that try to big each other up.
Yeah.
In reality, let's be honest, and I've said this before, and I know everybody's experienced it. It's not your friends and your family that started that helped you push your business.
Yeah.
It was strangers.
Yep.
It was you really getting out there and trying to network while everyone's telling you, bro, what are you talking about? You're not gonna make it. Get a job. What are you doing?
Yep.
So when that's love right there, bro. Like, yeah, I appreciate that, man. That's
Thank you,
love,
brother.
Bro.
I think it's you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur, and it's such a lone kind of road. And like you said, not every friend. And the thing is, you can't expect people to support you. It would be nice if people supported you. It'd be nice if people supported your goals and everything like that. But at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. It's strangers who are your biggest supporter, right?
100%.
Yeah, strangers are going to be the ones that are going to be, paying your bills. That's the opinion that matters the most, right? So I love how you said that. It's, in the end of the day, like, my friends, they have their opinion about, and by the way, I didn't really talk about what I do, but I'll get to that.
We're definitely talking about what you do. But
Okay. So I'm a martial arts owner, martial arts studio owner. I own a couple of locations around Ottawa. I've been doing martial arts since I was 6 years old. So practically my whole life I've been involved in martial arts. And back to kind of what we were saying, you can't expect your friends, your family to kind of see your vision as an entrepreneur, because you're the entrepreneur, right? It's normal to kind of, for people to judge and to not understand, because they're seeing it from their kind of point of view and their lens, right? Would it be nice to have friends supporting? 100%. But what Yussef said is absolutely right. The people that support you the most is strangers, right?
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, they're strangers. It's the strangers, it's people that you've never heard of, and you build relationships with those people, and they become your number one fans and your number one supporters. It'd be awesome if my friends would support, but I don't expect that from them.
I wonder if it's, I wonder what it is. I wonder if it's basically insecurities on their behalf, being like, you know what, if I can't do it, maybe he can do it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they want to emulate that insecurity onto you, and the next thing you know, once they finally see you taking off, then they start saying, see, I knew you can do it, bro. What the fuck are you talking about, man? You completely shut me out this entire time.
Yeah.
How much would it really take for you to like and share my page and do all that stuff? It really takes nothing out of your day,
Absolutely.
But then you have the ones that are like, yo, listen, Emmy, I'm with you from day one.
Yep.
Bro, big ups to you, man. Yo, get Emmy, yeah, go to the gym, CSMA. That's the place to go to. And then next thing you know, Emmy makes it.
Yeah.
1 location, 2 locations, and then he starts doing well. And then you're like, yo, I'm still on your side. Those are the ones that you got to keep around.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Those are the real gems in life.
Those are gems, man. And there's very few of those. And what you said about, posts and all that kind of stuff, it's one of those things that I'm scrolling on my phone, I like everyone else. But if I see one of my boys doing something for their business, I like it immediately. Like, even before I even watch the whole content, I like it immediately, because I know what it takes to build your reputation and to build your business, right? So that one like, that one Google review, that one share can help that business, right? And it doesn't take that long. It's a 3-second thing. Literally, double tapping on your phone is not even a second, right? So, and that's with any of my friends, even their my friends and their loved ones. If their partner starts a business or whatever, I support it right away and do everything I can, right? So it's one of those things like we're kind of a community as business owners and as entrepreneurs, right? So we got to kind of support each other. We're going to talk about this probably some more, but it's a deadly road. It's a vicious road. It's a competitive road as an entrepreneur to get to the top. But at the same time, we're kind of lone soldiers and we got to kind of support each other. And there's always something you can learn from different industries as well too, right? So I know I can learn things from your industry and there's things that you can learn from my industry and so on.
Absolutely. Which is the truth.
Yeah.
What I love about being an entrepreneur is it's that learning process. But you have to just have the balls to try.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. So the thing is they have all these dreams and aspirations, but all they do is talk about it. You got to be a doer.
Yep.
If you want to be in business, you have to be a doer. And the crazy part is what people don't understand is only 1% make it in this industry. Mm-hmm. So it's a very dark road. And there's a lot of sleepless nights.
Yep.
And there's a lot of times, how many times have you thought of throwing in the towel? Everybody has. It's normal. How many times I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm sick of this. It's consumed my life.
Yep.
I have no family life. I remember at some point, I used to go home and I was pulling in like 16, 18-hour days. So people tell me, oh, I'm tired of 8-hour shift, 9-hour shift. Buddy, I'm doing both every single day, 7 days a week. I did it for 2.5 years straight. My son at some point didn't recognize me. Mm-hmm. So I remember I come home and all excited, Baba, Baba. Like it's the one thing you look forward to going home. You already got a kid, you know what it is.
Yeah.
Got a beautiful little boy.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Wife's about to pop. Woo. You know what I mean? Big ups to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you come home and imagine, your son looks at you like a stranger.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's really important in life? You got to really find that. But see, that's the cool part. That's another lesson in the journey because then you're like, okay, now I got to figure out how to compartmentalize my life.
Yes.
On how to schedule things.
Yeah.
Because if you become a master at scheduling, it's an art.
It is. 100%.
You can achieve maximum efficiency. But once again, it's a real long, dark road, and a lot of people don't have the stomach to be able to ride the whole thing out.
It's very true.
You know what I mean?
I think the past few years, this pandemic has really exposed
a
lot of people that thought they were entrepreneurs and business owners. And like you said, it's you have to struggle. You have to be ready for those long nights. And the thing is, you're putting in 12, 15 hours. You're not even getting paid for those 12, 15 hours.
You said it.
Right? So, and that's the difference between an entrepreneur and just and a staff member or anyone. And I'm not trying to, shit on staff members or anything like that. They're blessed and, but there's people who are meant to be what they're meant to be, right? And if you're going to be an entrepreneur someday, if this is something you want to do, you have to be ready to work, like you said, 15-hour days and not get paid for it, right? Where a staff member can work overtime and do 15 hours and get paid, and they're happy and fine. But I've done months of no days off, right?
That's right.
And not getting paid overtime, not getting commission, but knowing that long term that this is going to pay off. Right?
Yeah.
And then now I'm at the point where I have 20 staff on my roster.
That's
and
incredible,
I do
by the way.
numerous training with them because you have to get to the point of staff development, right? And that's one, to me, that's honestly one of my favorite parts about being a business owner.
That's right.
Developing my team and developing my staff and meeting with them weekly, training them monthly, all that kind of stuff. And getting them to a level where they can run a studio or training them to be entrepreneurs. And that's my ultimate goal as a business owner, as the owner of my academy, is to train my staff to, if they want to be a business owner, if they want to be an entrepreneur, I'm giving them all the tools to do so. I'm teaching them about leadership. I'm teaching them about sales. I'm teaching them about marketing. I'm teaching them about systems, everything that you need. So that way, if the time comes, they want to open a martial arts studio or they want to run some sort of business, I played a big role in that and coaching them to get them ready for that.
It's very gratifying too, man.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you know what? What do you think is one of your best team building activities?
Role play.
Yeah.
Role play.
It's that's important. Huge in sales. Man.
It's huge.
You're such a sales guy, man. It's crazy you just said that. One of the things I do want to ask you here is what you're about your starting point. Mm-hmm. What inspired you to start your own business? You know what I mean? What were your initial goals when you first started CSMA? I don't even know if that was your first company.
Yeah.
But
so it's a funny story, man. Like I was in school, I was in university at the time actually, and I've always worked at a martial arts studio my whole life. Like I said, I started karate at 6 years old at a low down martial arts studio in Hamilton. My parents, I wanted to enroll in a really nice martial arts studio, like kind of CSMA style, the way it's now. But my parents thought it was too expensive, so they put me on this really like cheap martial arts studio, which is fine. You know what I mean? Then we moved to Ottawa. Then they finally enrolled me into a nicer martial arts studio. And I fell in love with martial arts, teaching, training, fighting, everything you name about karate and kickboxing. I've done it all, and I love it. And even to this day, I love it. Right? And I went to I went to university just because everyone else was going to university.
That's right.
And I shouldn't have gone to university. But I don't regret going to university. I say this all the time because I met my wife in university. So obviously some good came out of going to school. And I've made some good friends in university, made some good connections, right? But university is a rough place to kind of try to figure out what you want to do, and it's an expensive place too, right? Like to go there and figure out what you want to do with your life. And I say this all the time, we're too young at 18 to start making those decisions of what do I want to be when I'm 22, 23, 30, right? Like
you plan the entire future, and you're like, man, your aspirations can change in 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And there was a lot of pressure on me going to school, becoming a doctor, becoming a physiotherapist.
Typical Brown stories.
Oh my God, bro. It was rough. And then it was towards, I actually was in school for about 4 or 5 years. I dropped out of university. So I was on my last year. And I said, fuck this, man. I'm going to own a martial arts studio. And I've been working at a martial arts studio my whole life. And there was an opportunity. The original owner, he wanted out of the business, right? So there was an opportunity to take over that business. And there was another, who's my ex-business partner, which I'm down to talk about, by the way, because I have a crazy story about that.
I definitely want to talk about that.
But there was another person that was wanting to buy the martial arts studio and take it over. But I knew deep down that I have a bigger impact than this guy in the studio, because I'm a very charismatic, great instructor. I know I am, and I've trained my instructors to be charismatic and good instructors as well too. But I had a big role, big impact in that studio. And I remember just being like, hey man, I want to be the one that's taking over the studio. I want this opportunity, you know what I mean? And I already kind of learned so much about running a business as a kid, right? As a martial arts studio. So the long story short, the ex-owner said, hey, it's a good idea for both you guys to partner up. You guys are both young, and you guys are and I was like 22 at the time. You guys should both partner up and take over the studio. And it was kind of like an arranged marriage when you think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. But so we did. We took over the studio. I completely dropped school. And I remember calling my dad and saying,
what was that conversation? Yeah, continue.
It was bad. It was a rough conversation, because I told my dad, there's an opportunity to take over the studio. Yeah. There's a big opportunity for me, and I can't miss on this, and I want to do it. And he's like, and I was very surprised what he said. He was actually very supportive of it, and he was like, you know what?
Really?
Yeah. He's like, you got to take a chance sometimes. You do, and you'll never know. That's what he said to me. Probably the realest conversation I've ever had with my dad. And I'm very blessed to have great parents, because they allowed me to do what I wanted to do.
Incredible.
Right? So, and he just said, you will never know what can happen if you don't take this opportunity. And if you think this is right, this is what you want to do, then I'm supportive, and I want you to do it. I want you to finish school, though. I never finished school.
Okay.
Come on, let's be real. How am I going to run a business
and then go to school at the same time?
Fuck university, man. I can swear, right? Am I allowed to?
Cuss as much as you want,
fuck school, bro. Fuck university. It's just set up. It's set up to fail. It's set up to weed out people, and it's just
what? The only thing for university and colleges, the only thing I think they're good for is for doctors and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I definitely don't want a fucking mechanic about to crack open my chest. You know what I mean? That's a fucking fact.
Exactly.
But other than that, man, all these other skills, you definitely learn more on the field. It's almost like that imperial knowledge.
Yep.
And that's really where you get the juice, is when you actually delve into the field itself, because all that all theories, theoretical knowledge, and practical and imperial, completely different, man.
Yep.
As soon as you get into the field, you're like, wow, like I'm really not implementing a lot of the stuff that I learned. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Most of these people have a master's in business, but they've never run a business before.
Exactly.
They don't know. I have a master's in business, and I don't have a certificate.
Well, that's a big ups
I can say that. I can say that, man, because I've done it all, right, in this industry. So Yeah, so I said, fuck school. I'm going to go full time. And at the same time, my parents moved away. My parents moved to Toronto. They left me here. You know Niloy. I moved in with Niloy. And they.
I think I've heard of Niloy.
Yeah. So when I moved in with him, and I was pretty much on my own, and my parents moved away to Toronto, and it was kind of a hard decision because they kind of left me here with like I didn't know what I was going to do in my life. And
Any siblings, by the way?
I have one older sister who went to university, who did very well for herself.
Does she live here and she lived in
Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah. So it was tough, man, when my parents left me, and they left me probably in 2014. But I was like 22 at the time, and it was hard because I saw my wife graduate from university, right, becoming a nurse, and right away getting her career going, and I'm just like living on my own. I don't know what the frig I'm gonna do. And then that opportunity came to take over studio, and I had to run with it. And I've ran marathons with that opportunity, And the thing about I learned a lot about business right away when you own a business. And not only that, I invested in business development, which is extremely important. Like I hired a business coach to teach me, how to be better. Because, even though I stopped going to university, the learning never stopped.
Exactly.
And that's something that martial arts will teach you, is that you have to have a white belt mentality. I'm a black belt. I'm a 4-3 black belt in karate. But you always have to have a white belt mentality that you're always learning.
100%.
There's always something new you can learn, and you can learn something from anyone. I can learn many things from you. I can learn from, a doctor. I can learn from lawyers. I can learn from police officers, firefighters. There's so many things I can learn from anyone, right? So you have to have that mindset. And during those, I was with my business partner for about.
Let's talk about that arranged marriage there. About the business partner.
Yeah. So
let's go back to that.
Okay. So. I don't think he's gonna watch us, obviously, because we completely cut ties, and it was a rough divorce towards the end. But at the time, it was one of those things that it made sense, right? We were both extremely young to get into business, and obviously, I was so excited about the opportunity to take over business and the fact that they were considering to sell it as part of it to me. I was like, okay, I'm down for whatever. I was very just pumped up for it, right?
Yeah,
so I'm like, okay,
it's meant to be.
It was meant to be. You want to partner up? Sure, let's partner up. I don't even know you. I barely know you, but we're gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
So it was legit an arranged marriage.
That's nuts. You guys barely knew each other?
Barely knew each other. Like we knew each other. Like we worked with each other and
Hence the
stuff,
arranged
but
marriage.
there was no. He's not the type of guy I would hang out with outside of the studio, but sometimes that is a good business partnership at the same time, right? Because there was some good of us being partners. I'm a very exciting guy. I get excited. I get, I'm willing to just, go all in on things. You know what I mean? And I'm willing to take a lot of risks.
You're like me, bro.
Yeah. You got to be all in. Look at this. If you look at this freaking studio right now, you could tell that you went all in on it, right? You invested in the lighting and the this and that, the microphone, all kinds of stuff. These beautiful freaking sexy couches here, right? So you gotta go all in, and that's the way that's the way I am, and I get excited, right?
I'm like you, man. I don't give a fuck. If I'm going in, I'm going in. I'm not here to lose. I'm here to win. You know, and if I don't, I'm gonna fucking bounce back from the L. That's it.
Exactly, right? So and he's different. He was more of a calculated, introverted kind of guy. And listen, there's nothing wrong with introverts, but not, there's benefits of being introverted, but especially in my industry, you got to be a people's person. You got to be outgoing, right? And that's why you always saw me on the promo videos, on the marketing videos, because I was the one that naturally
well done.
had the
You
voice.
got a really good. You have a very good character for that, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem, man.
Comes with practice, man. Comes
that's what I realized. Even though you feel like you can be good off camera and you have this crazy personality, when that camera comes on, man, fucking, you start to buckle.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. Good for you, man.
Comes with consistency and just doing it often, right? And then the pandemic happened, right? And
we're still on the partnership story, right?
Yeah. Well, let's fast forward. Those first 5 years. Obviously, I took a loan to take over this business, and we paid it off in 5 years, which I was pretty happy about. And then, 2020 rolls up. So my business loan was set to be paid off by 2020. Right. And I'm like, hell yeah, now I own my share fair and clear. I have no debt now and everything. And what the fuck happens? Fucking COVID-19, bro. Oh, my goodness, right? So, and going back to earlier in this episode, what I said, the real entrepreneurs a lot of entrepreneurs got exposed, right? A lot of business owners got exposed. Fortunately, my partner did get exposed, right? And he didn't really know what to do. And when the pandemic did happen, there was so much freaking out, bro.
100%.
It's fucking crazy, man. And you know, we live in Canada where the fear and everything was fucking bad.
It was rampant.
It was bad. It was a little much. I don't want to get too political here, but it was freaking bad, right? So I was getting phone calls, everything. We gotta cancel our membership. We gotta do this. We're gonna be like, whoa. I'm like, whoa, hold up. Like, listen, it's only supposed to be 2 weeks. What did 2 weeks turn into? Turned to 6 months of my business being shut down, right? But 2 weeks, only supposed to be 2 weeks. And I remember telling my staff, okay, guys, you know, let's just make some video content right now. We'll post like workout videos on our Facebook group, and we're gonna get busy right away. Like, and that's one thing. And I act fast, right? While my business partner is probably stressing out, I was like, it sucks, but like, we gotta act fast. Let's start making some content right away.
You're like me, man. Speed. Let's get it. You know what I mean?
Speed.
Continue, man. I love it, man. I'm loving it.
You need speed, man. So,
by the way, to all the people that are watching right now, this is literally where Imran shined, because it really went to go show how resilient this guy was. I love this story, by the way, because I watched the whole thing and I'm like, fucking creative.
Thank you, bro.
Amazingly creative. Continue on to hear the story.
Appreciate it, bro.
Go.
So again, we right away made some content and everything, and I was stressed. At the same time, I was stressed, but you can't show that stress to your team. And that's one thing I have a program at my studio. It's called the Leadership Program, where I educate the students, the kids, about leadership. And we actually had one month about stress and how to deal with stress and how to help people with stress.
Very good.
And obviously this was a fucking stressful time.
Oh yeah.
And I cannot show to my team that I'm stressed. I could not.
Because they're relying on you for a surety.
Exactly. Yeah. If I start being stressed out, like, oh my God, like we're all gonna die from COVID-19, guess what? The whole team's gonna be like, oh my God, we're all gonna die. We gotta drop everything. We gotta hide, stay home and everything. No, I told them, guys, we're gonna show up to work and we're gonna make some content. You know what I mean? But that's what we're gonna do right now. We gotta be busy during these next 2 weeks that we're supposed to be shut down. When I went home, I was fucking stressed.
Yeah, I believe it for sure.
My wife we just had a baby. My wife's on EI. Right. And like, I'm business owners, your income's not guaranteed, all that kind of stuff. And I was stressed. And then and my parents were stressed too. And they're like, you got to make sure you pay attention to news, what's going on, which is the worst thing, by the way. Should not have paid attention to news. Yeah, I should have blocked it. And I remember watching Trudeau saying that, oh, this is going to be longer. And that's when I was like, and I'm like stress eating, Cheetos, everything. That's my stress eating food. Cheetos, stress eating on the couch, looking at my son.
You love Cheetos that much?
I love Cheetos. Spicy Cheetos. I love it, bro. Okay. Now I don't eat Cheetos. I'm in really good shape now. So I haven't had Cheetos in a while, but that was rough, bro. It was rough. So I remember going to my partner and saying to him, my ex-partner at the time, and I said to him, we met. I said, let's meet and let's talk about what we're gonna do. Yeah. And I spearheaded the whole thing. And I said to him, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do virtual live classes over Zoom, okay? And we're gonna run our first class on April 1st. We're gonna take these next 2 weeks to actually prepare, make the schedule. We're gonna have to communicate like crazy, call every single one of our members, tell them what we're doing, and on top of that, we're not gonna stop people's billing. That was one of the best moves I've ever made. Is I didn't stop people's billing in the pandemic, and the reason why. That one reason why that was good is obviously it's a freaking business, okay? It's not my fault. It's not my fault that I'm being forced to shut down, right? And at that time, there was no announcement about government plans, right? And the government plans were bullshit, by the way, but there was no announcement of CERB yet or anything like that. They announced that like a couple months after.
Yeah, it was just right in the wind.
It was like, you know what I mean? So I said, we can't stop billing. We got to make sure we keep charging people. But we got to freaking grind these virtual classes. We're going to crush it. I made the Zoom account. I made the class schedule, everything. I taught the very first Zoom class with a iPad and like
really
and like AirPods and
that's incredible.
And I had 40 people show up to my first Zoom class and everything, screens everywhere, and it was such a learning experience and everything. But like he witnessed it, my team witnessed me just go at it and attack and spearhead, right? So I taught nobody wanted to teach the first class. They're all scared. Obviously, I'm like, fuck it, man. I'm going to teach it. I'm going to do it.
Business.
Exactly.
You gotta.
And I told him as well too. This is what we're going to do. We're going to teach. We're going to start in April 1st. We're going to figure it out. Okay. We're going to figure out how to teach actual really good virtual classes. And then starting May, I'm going to start a marketing plan, and we're going to get back to business and signing up members normally like we always do in our virtual martial arts program in May. Let's get some time to perfect the product first, or not even perfect it, just make it good, figure it out. And then May, I'm gonna start running some ads, and we're gonna get some new members starting with us trading.
How did that go?
Amazing, absolutely amazing, because nobody was doing it. Okay, so and we're talking about this setup over here, and like I said before, you got to go all in when you're doing something. I went all in on the virtual classes. I got all this equipment. I got the same or similar equipment. I had, soundproof walls. I got a next level camera, microphones, sound machines, all kinds of stuff. I figured out how I can play music at the same time in the Zoom class.
Good for you, man. I got Sean the Don there for a reason. I don't know nothing about
yes, sir.
that.
So
I just delegate, you know what I mean?
I figured it out, and I a lot of delegation too, but a lot of stuff I had to figure it out, right? And I went all in. And actually, my ex-partner was a little bit hesitant about going all in. He's like, "Oh, I don't think this is necessary to have lights and this and that." I'm like, "Oh, bro, it's fucking super necessary. Like, this is what we
100%. Like, content creations.
Yeah.
It's all about lighting.
This is all we got. Yeah. We don't have, nobody's walking in our studio right now. Nobody's doing any in-person classes. This is all we got. So we got to go all in. And another thing, we're still billing people. So that added pressure on me to make sure I have a really good product virtually and making sure I'm running amazing classes and a lot of classes too. So I wasn't just running one class a day. I was running like 5-6 classes a day.
By the way, I'm pretty sure Good Life and Movati were still billing at the same time too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they did. Maybe.
No?
I don't think so. I don't think Good Life kept billing. Okay. Which big mistake. But at the same time, they're a big box gym and it's a little bit of a different. They're not a people's kind of like communication kind of gym. It's more like you go there, you use their weights, and you're gone. You know what I mean? So a little bit different. So
I don't think that the stopping. I think that the fact that you didn't stop billing is very good.
It's insane. Yeah, it was crazy when you think about it, because there's so many business owners that stopped billing because they. What I noticed from a lot, I keep my ears to the streets. I watch all these martial arts studios, what they did in the pandemic, and I kept my eyes to them. And such bullshit, bro. Some of them are literally teaching a class with an iPhone. Okay. Stop billing, teaching one class in a while. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, that's how you lose your members, and that's how a lot of these members ended up switching over to my studio,
which is good for you.
Yeah, it was really good.
I believe it. It's tough.
It's fucking horrible. And they were telling me, "Oh, all non-essential. You're non-essential. Non-essential businesses." Fuck you for telling me I'm non-essential. By the way, I'm so essential. Like, I'm super essential in this society.
Baffled. Like, yo, you keep the beer store open, but you don't like gyms and things to improve lifestyle. How the fuck is that not essential? You know what I mean?
Fucked.
It was completely flawed anyways.
It's flawed. So yeah, like, it's not like I'm not going through mental health either. I'm fucking stressed too, bro. I gained a lot of weight during the pandemic too, right? And so a lot of that there and back, and I'm like, listen, man, okay, fine. You need a personal day, do your thing. But obviously I'm like, I'm getting busy, man. I'm fucking getting busy. I'm putting in work. I got to. I have no choice. I have a son at home, right? My wife's on maternity leave, EI, all that kind of stuff. And I got to grind, man. I got to keep this business going. If I don't put any effort into this, we're not going to have a business when we're finally open. We're going to have to start from zero, which a lot of business owners did. A lot of martial arts studios, gym owners did start from zero again when we opened, right? And I did take a big loss in the pandemic, especially in the first lockdown. I went down. Beating, eh? Sorry, yeah, I probably lost about 100 members in that first. That's a lot, right?
That's a lot.
And a lot of it's like, people that were like, "Oh, I'm not going to do virtual, oh this," and at the end of the day, fine, you don't want to do virtual, that's fine. I'm not going to force you, right?
Yeah.
But I had a good amount of people still supporting our studio and everything like that, which is so good. And like I said, I didn't stop billing, so we had a lot of members doing our virtual classes, and we just kept going as is with the classes. And then it was 2020, we reopened in July. It's funny because I go back on Instagram and I see, what did I post like this year? You always like see your memories. Exactly. And now I'm at the point where I'm seeing, oh wow, we're getting ready to reopen in July. I'm like, oh my God, that was a fucking horrible time. That was a fucking terrible time. And I remember reopening in July and having such strict COVID rules. And another thing is that, I think every business owner did their own thing in the COVID, and at the time, we were kind of doing with the information that we were given, right? And another thing too is that I sent a lot of surveys to my members.
Good for you. You're really getting data, eh?
Yeah, I really want to know how everyone felt about the pandemic. I don't give a crap, bro. It's in the end of the day, like, I got COVID. It's whatever. My son got COVID. We all got COVID. It is what it is. And, it's fucking normal. COVID's around. Everyone's getting COVID.
I think Putin killed COVID, man. That's literally a fact.
100%, bro. 100%. But I did send a lot of surveys to my members. I live my studio. My first one's in Stittsville, right? So it's a different area, and there was a lot of fear in the community. There's a lot of fear of COVID. So I had to make sure my COVID systems were spot on, were really good, and you know what I mean. And I knew that for a fact that when people are getting out in public again in this time, the big thing that's gonna choose and what they're gonna choose me for is my COVID systems. That's what's going to make me stand out. I know I teach great classes. I know I do this, but COVID systems is that what stood out. And in fact, it's actually really easy to follow the COVID systems, right? You just got to take your ego out of it, and you got to just follow the COVID systems and just do it. It sucks, because I know a lot of martial arts students that just did their thing and stayed open as is, and they would get bad Google reviews. Oh, they're not sanitizing, or they're not wearing masks, whatever. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I knew for a fact that I had to have really good COVID systems when we reopened. So that we were reopened in July. We started getting new members coming in. It was amazing. And I increased the price because you had to, because I was only allowed 15 people in the damn room. So I had to make sure I was charging a premium for the memberships and everything.
Yeah, bills to cover.
Yeah, bills to cover. You have staff to pay, all that kind of stuff.
And profit is not a bad word. You're in business to turn a profit too.
Exactly. And you got to survive, man. You don't know how long this pandemic's going. And then we're going into the fall time and everything, and those I spent a lot of money on marketing. You probably still see my ads right now, and you saw a lot of my ads. I spent a lot of money on marketing, and that's one thing. In the pandemic, I always like to see what can I get out of this. How am I gonna win from the situation? It's a shitty situation where they literally told me to shut down. My business is shut down. How can I win from this? So I did a lot of personal development. I read a lot of books. One book that really stood out to me was from Grant Cardone, and it's If You're Not First, You're Last. Okay? And he wrote this book, and he wrote another book called 10X Rule, which I've read like 3 times. But he wrote these books in the recession in the US. So a lot of it is very similar to what we're going through right now and what we went through in the pandemic, where people are freaking out, businesses are going down, and everything.
Everyone's in a panic mode.
Yeah. So you got to be first. You got to be first to do everything. You got to be first to open. You got to be first to do this. You got to be first to do that. And long term, you got to look at it from that perspective that you can win in these negative situations as long as you get busy. As long as you get busy, right? So I knew when we were going towards the end of 2020, obviously my relationship with my ex business partner was getting rocky, right? And it was getting a little bit ridiculous, because he actually did bring up to me, he's like, "Oh, you spent about $10,000 this month on marketing. That's too much." And I'm like, "What the fuck? You should never cut the marketing." And that's one thing I learned in that book. When shit hits the fan, right? Business owners or businesses, they freak out. They cut staff. They cut this. They cut that. And a lot of them cut the marketing.
Never cut the marketing.
Never cut the marketing, man.
That's a pipeline.
Exactly. In fact, spend more money on marketing. Now I spend a lot of money on marketing. That's why you see my ads like crazy. And that's why we're always growing. My studio is always growing. There's never not a busy day at the studio. But when he said that, I was just like, the fuck? Like, we had an amazing record month. We're signing up new members in the pandemic.
Which is incredible, right?
It was amazing, right? And our sign-up rate is insane. We're getting so many new people starting out our program, and you're gonna call me out for spending $10,000 in marketing? Come on, dude. You know what I mean? Like, and like, again, like you said, it's probably envious, it's probably jealousy, it's probably all of that, because he's kind of seeing what really happened between us is that I kind of skyrocketed in the growth. And he kind of just stayed, like, I kind of outgrew him at that point.
It's a lot of times. It's what happens, man. These people aren't there for life. They're only there for a season. They can't handle that altitude. You know what I mean?
He couldn't. And I think it was a rough time, the pandemic, but a lot of room for growth if you wanted to, right? If you wanted to spend and invest in yourself to grow, there was so much room to grow. So we're going towards the end of the year, 2020, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, things are great. We're signing people up. We're open again, blah, blah, blah. And what the fuck happens? Oh, there's a new England variant. There's a new variant.
The Delta,
of COVID.
whatever.
Oh, I don't even know, bro. There were so many names, right? Man. And then I knew, I'm like, oh, shit. Here we go. You're going to shut down all non-essential, all gyms in January, which is the #1 month where people want to start and get in shape.
New Year's resolution.
It's the worst time, right? So I knew we were going into a shutdown, and my mental health and my stress level was just going crazy and just blowing my mind. And the biggest thing that kind of stood out to me was that knowing that I'm going to have to do another lockdown with this motherfucker, with this partner. Again, I have to go through this.
That was a very big factor.
It was a big factor. I said, I have to do this again. I have to go through all this again. And when we shut down, it's a big operation. It's not just, okay, guys, we're closed. It's, we got to call everyone. We have to call hundreds of people. We got to send massive amount of emails. We got to set up all the Zoom rooms. We got to set up all the Zoom classes, all this kind of stuff. I got to train my staff how to teach Zoom classes, everything like that. So it's a big operation when you're close shut down. And I did it all. I spearheaded it all the first time, right? And I said this earlier in the podcast. I'm all about staff development. So as soon as I learn something, I make sure I teach it to everyone I know. And when I mastered the Zoom classes and how to teach good Zoom classes, like we actually had a system for it. We had someone, in the middle teaching the class, microphone and everything. And we had someone like you have this guy over here. We had someone at the computer, right? Dealing with, answering questions on the chat, all that kind of stuff. And then we, there's a
Good
feature.
for you, yeah.
Yeah, we figured it out and we made it fun, okay? Like there's a feature in Zoom called spotlighting. So I'll put the music on and say, okay, guys, show me some burpees for 30 seconds. We're playing music and then we're spotlighting like every single student so everyone can see everyone. So it makes you feel,
up, yeah,
it makes you feel like you're included and everything like that in this class, right? So we had a whole system when we were teaching Zoom classes, and I taught it to all my staff. And I made sure the first time, what I did wrong the first time is I did let go of a lot of my staff because obviously I didn't know, right? I learned that the hard way. I did lose some staff members the first time. The second time, I'm
like, bro, first of all, have faith in yourself.
Yeah.
Make the best out of your situation.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I hate when all I hear about is just, first of all, I'm not the kind of guy you bicker to. Mm-hmm. I'm really not. I'm the farthest guy from it. I'll give you an ear. But trust me, that ear only happens once. If you keep complaining about the same shit, it's like, bro, what the fuck are we going to do about it? What are we going to do to get out of this shitty situation that we don't like?
Yep.
Let's get the fuck off our ass. We have something called a brain. Let's put it together and let's see what we can develop out of all this. I had a blast. I won't lie to you.
Yeah.
I had a fucking very good time. You know what the crazy part is how the divorce rate was like through the roof. Because now you're really stuck with your partner the whole time.
Ultimate test.
Me and my wife were fucking having a blast. Yeah. We were chilling. I'm like, you know what? It's already a miserable situation.
Yeah.
There's no need for me and you to say it's a miserable situation.
Yeah.
We already know it. We can't fucking leave the house.
Yeah.
And the whole shebang. I never got vaxxed.
Yeah.
It's funny how now it's not a thing anymore. Yeah. I never got vaxxed. I can care less.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I genuinely don't believe in the science on this one.
Yeah.
That's literally all I was on my fucking tetanus shots and vaccines or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't believe in the science in this one. So I'm like, yo, listen, I'm going to fucking take a knee and I'm going to go inside my house.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not going to be coerced into anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was sad how they did it to everybody else.
Yeah.
About their jobs. Listen, you pull your lifeline and your hard-earned income, 100% they're going to be coerced into taking it.
Yeah.
So the fact that Trudeau is sitting there saying, oh, I didn't force anybody to take it, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Because you literally forced them into taking it because they're like, no, it's not even about the science or I don't want to take it. I need to live.
Yeah.
They have families to feed and families to support. So you're telling me I'm not going to be able to work and you're not going to enter the bus and you're not going to be able to take a train or a fucking flight. We already know it's a shitty situation.
Yeah.
Forget about all that for a second. Put that all on the side.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
Me and you right now. Like if we were business partners, bro, we would have been on the fucking moon, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're doers. That's just what it is. Yo, fuck mental health.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no.
Yeah.
Definitely is. But I find my best way to deal with it, it's just do it, bro. Just go.
Get busy.
Just go, man.
You gotta
Keep
get
yourself
busy.
occupied. Make goals. Mm-hmm. Because the thing is, the second, it's like a slow acting poison. Mm-hmm. It's real. It absolutely is real. It's like a slow acting poison. The second you let it consume you, it's just gonna fucking flourish more in your brain.
Yeah.
And it's gonna become a mental monster. Bro, the second you say, I don't want this, I'm gonna create a game plan. It's like, you ever heard of I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired?
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
So let's say if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, make a game plan. Mm-hmm. What do I want? I want to do this, that, and the third. Just fucking do it.
Yep.
Don't wait. Just do it. Everyone thinks about, I have to make this grand master plan.
Yeah.
And it has to be like this, and it has to be fucking stamped by the engineers, and a psychologist has to come and see it, and a fucking brain surgeon has... Bro, listen, just do it, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? First of all, you're going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. But hey, guess what? After you fuck it up, you're going to go back like a real entrepreneur and stuff.
Yeah.
Back to the drawing board. What did I do wrong here now? oh, okay, you know what? I see where I went wrong. Let's try something else.
Yeah.
Let's do it this. Bro, it's life. It's inevitable. Nobody just gets it on the first time.
No, it's true.
You know what I mean? And that's just the way you have to deal with shit. It's just, they say face it. Yeah, face it, bro. Tell yourself, listen, I'm fucking tired of it. I'm going to make a change. I don't want to live like this anymore.
Yeah.
And then just go get it, bro. You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes some time. But like I said, I'm not that guy that anybody comes at. You can't bicker to me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm very sympathetic with you.
Yeah.
I'll listen to your your tale of woe. I'll take my time with you, whatever. But after you're done,
You're going to hear it.
you're getting right down to it, bro. How the fuck are we changing this?
Yeah.
And that's all it is. Bro, I've cut off a lot of people because I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, realistically, you like being miserable.
Yeah.
Let's be very honest. You're very comfortable in this misery right now.
Yeah.
I'm not, bro.
Yeah.
Because in the end of the day, I got goals. I got things I'm trying to achieve. Fuck a dream, bro. They're all goals to me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I dream I could fucking fly and I have wings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everything else is a goal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get that.
Absolutely.
So for a guy, when I'm sitting down and I'm listening to stories like this, like I've ran through, I think, 3 partners.
Yeah.
Or 4 partners.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been fucked by every single one of them.
Yeah.
And, you give them the benefit of the doubt or whatever. But at the same time, it's like you can't, when you see the signs, you see the signs.
Yeah.
Don't tell yourself otherwise. I think that's my advice to everybody at this point after being burnt so many times. You know what I mean? I'm not going to start painting everybody with the same brush. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not one of those salty people that fucking, because she cheated on me, I'm going to think every girl out there is fucking terrible. I don't give a fuck. I'm moving on. But the crazy part is when you see the signs, you see the signs. Don't tell yourself otherwise.
Yeah.
If they've arose, they're there.
Yeah.
That's it. It came to the light. A snake is a snake. The only thing it does is it sheds its skin. That's it, man. You know what I mean?
It's very
so
true.
yeah, the fact that they got personal on you, bro, listen, it's crazy that you're going through this entire thing. I have all these questions. I'm like, you just keep fucking banging them. Imran Jaffer, CSMA, get his own podcast. Continue.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I've thought about it, honestly. But yeah, no,
You know what? Let me ask you, actually, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no worries.
You know what? We've talked a lot about like the stuff. I want to ask you about work-life balance. How were you able to figure out work-life balance? You're married.
Yep.
You have your own business. On top of that, you have a child. Congratulations, you have another one coming
Thank you.
up.
Come soon.
So how did you figure out work-life? We're just running out of time, so I want to touch on some things people have asked me, so I want to see if maybe you can answer that.
I only recently figured that out. It took me a while, and I'm an attacker. Like I said, I used to work 6-7 days a week and do what it takes to get my business going, right? But I've recently figured out work-life balance, and I think, and just the thing about work-life balance, there's never going to be work-life balance. Never. There's never going to be a perfect work-life balance, right? There's going to be times where your business is going to demand you even more, and you need to show up. Like right now, I'm renovating my second martial arts studio. I'm expanding it. Okay, I'm doubling the size. And the renovations are starting right now.
That's amazing.
And my baby's due in 2 weeks.
That's incredible. Wow. See, that's a doer right there. He's like, I'm building even though she's getting...
I'm about to have a baby, and I'm going to have those crazy nights. But at the same time, I have my second studio that's going to need a lot of attention from me, right? So it's one of those things that... And actually, we're talking about mental health this year. I did go through some mental health of being very anxious. And... I'm not I'm not using it as a crutch or anything, but I was stressed out. How the fuck am I going to get through these next 6 months? And the way you do it is you just have to remind yourself of what you've been through, right? I have to constantly remind myself, hey, I figured out a freaking pandemic. I opened another martial arts studio in a pandemic where I was declared non-essential, right? Or I opened another non-essential business.
Super ballsy.
I've had way worse things thrown at me. This is fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And that's why, I'm making the moves right now to make sure these next 6 months of my life my focus is laser focused. My diet is on point. My work schedule is on point. My systems at home are on point. So the thing about work-life balance, again, is you need systems. And just like how you have systems in your business, you do need systems in life as well too, right? So when I wake up, the first thing I do is I don't do work stuff. I go grab my son. That is the first thing I do is I grab my son. I take the mornings to take care of my son, get him ready for daycare. And as soon as I drop him off, it's fucking grind time, right? I hop on the Stairmaster. I'm answering emails on my phone while I'm on the Stairmaster. I train maybe twice a day and I'm still, crushing as a dad, incredibly good shape and running a fucking successful business, right? So it's about systems. It's about sticking to the same stuff. And it's also about doing boring stuff almost every single day. I do the same stuff every day. I eat the same food every fucking day, right? So I don't have to have decision fatigue, because decision fatigue is a real thing. If you're always trying to worry about what are you going to wear today, what am I going to eat today, all this kind of stuff, then you're wasting so much mental energy on making these decisions when you need that when it's time to go in your business.
That's such a cold hard fact.
Hell fucking yeah. So yeah, no. So like I said, only recently I figured out work-life balance, and what I finally gave myself a day off, and it was more to spend time with my son.
What about your support system? Sorry,
my support system. Like, what do you mean by that?
Like, who was your support system during this entire thing?
This entire thing is definitely my team. My team has been a big one. Obviously, my family too, right? But my team is a big support system, and it goes back to staff development. You got to have strong staff development, and if you can train your staff to take over, to run the studio for that day or to run all these classes, then you don't need to be at the studio every single day, right? I don't need to be I'm at the point where I'm not at my studio every single day. I'm at my Barhaven location because it needs my attention, because it's in growth mode, right? But my Stittsville location, I'm at 350 active members. It's huge.
Let's talk about what you currently have. So we're running out of time. I want them to know exactly what the name of your company is. How can they get a hold of you and the whole thing?
So I own Canadian Sport Martial Arts Academy. For short, it's CSMA. We have 2 locations. We have one in Stittsville, Canada. We're about 350 active members there. And I just opened the Barhaven location in the pandemic about a bit over a year ago, and we're renovating that, and we're close to 200 members there.
Very good.
So when I opened that Barhaven studio, again, going back to that fact that you got to have your plate full, my plate was fucking full at that time. So that was towards the end of 2021, and I opened that studio. I got the keys, and in 2 weeks I started teaching classes in there. I didn't give a fuck.
I love it, man. Just go, bro.
Yeah. And
I love it, man.
Yeah, just go, man.
Just go.
All of August, I was going door to door in people's homes. I was knocking on people's doors during the pandemic. People coming out with masks, with gloves and everything. I was wearing my mask. I was wearing everything I could to look super safe for COVID. And I have a prize wheel app on my phone. And I would say, hey guys, spin the wheel. We're a martial arts studio. We're opening up right over here. We're going to be open in September, and we're getting everyone set up with their first free class.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. So I went door to door. I did everything. I did everything I could to make that studio, and I got it cash flowing in a month.
So I never want to hear, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it work. What did you do? And then, what did you do?
Yeah.
Look at you, man. Good for you, man. You really went out there, bro.
You got to attack. And now, that's been a year. That was a year ago I did that. Now we're expanding it. We're renovating it. We're doing double the space. And it's an insane studio now. So, no, things are, again, by buying out my business partner, that was probably my biggest breakthrough moment. And it was my dream. So, I even posted today a little quote, but sometimes you don't realize that you are living in your dream, and you just need to keep reminding yourself that you are. You're your own boss. You're your own. You call the shots, and that's a fucking dream. People would kill for that. And whenever you have those rough times and those times that you feel like are tough, you just need to constantly remind yourself where you're at and what you've been through. And that's going to help you crush the next season.
It's crazy how a lot of people envy people like in our positions.
Yeah.
But there's a cost to be the boss.
It's a big cost.
It's a big cost.
I love that. I mean?
And you know what? In the end of the day, you just got to do what you have to do in the first place.
Yeah.
You just have the balls to get out there. Leadership. When you're talking about people development, in the end of the day, being a true leader is all about developing and building people. Mm-hmm. It's about building your team. It's about building your staff.
Yeah.
And then I was saying before, I'm like, you know what? I feel like we've entered this very niched era.
Yeah.
Where everybody just talks about the entrepreneur, but completely shits on the little guy and the employees.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, you're not an entrepreneur. Like, I know a lot of guys out there, good guys.
Yeah.
They're trying to find love in their lives or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's these unrealistic set expectations about you have to have a business, you have to have your own business, 6 figures and all the other stuff. And I'm like, first of all, that guy works for somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say one of my team members.
Yeah.
He works for me. He's building my dream.
Yeah.
Why am I going to go and shit on the guy that's building my dream?
Exactly.
Even if he didn't have the courage to go out on his own and fail or succeed,
yeah,
he's building my dream. So I'm still going to show appreciation to my guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all about the whole people building skills, right? So I think that's a very number one, a lot of employers should develop. And like I said, we've entered that era where, first of all, I think it's too soft. That's why I'm here, man. Guys like us, bro. The reason why I created this podcast is you have a kid.
Yeah.
Another on the way. Same here.
Yeah.
Literally same dynamic. And I'm like, you know what? I want to see my son. I want to see my son as a warrior, bro.
Yep.
We had that warrior mentality. I still have that warrior mentality. And then the more and more I see what's going on in today's date, it's like we have to stand up. We have to speak. We have to guide. We have to lead. It's your duty. It's my duty. And I take this job serious, bro.
Yep.
And, you know, you mentor a lot of people. I mentor a lot of people. You know what? Actually, I got to say, one beautiful thing is make sure you have a really good circle around you. Even as a network or whatever, when you know good people, even in your time of crisis, I remember I vouch for your gym wholeheartedly, man.
Yeah.
And for anybody watching, I vouch for your gym. My nephews use it. My niece uses it. They've came a long way. Development. My nephews especially, they had a lot of confidence issues and all that. We definitely see a huge change. And we have CSMA. We got you to thank for it. And this ain't even a promo video. I ain't getting paid.
Thank you so much.
This is from the heart. This is love. You know what I mean?
Thank
So
you.
I said, if I'm going to be doing this, I want to put my people on. And at the same time, I want to mentor the next generation.
Yeah.
It's our fucking job.
Yeah.
We already fucked it up, the generation before mine. Why? Because, you know what? Their dads were tough. If you go look at my generation, my dad was a fucking monster, bro. Same as the mom, but they knew what they had the compassionate side at the same time.
Yeah.
They played it perfectly right. And then you come to the areas, I want to give my kid the life I never had.
Yeah.
What the fuck were you doing this entire time that was so wrong?
Yeah.
You don't want to teach that. It's like you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man a fish, he eats for life.
Yeah.
And then I go a lot by these Arabic proverbs, these Arabic wise proverbs. And it's like one of my favorite ones. It's you can never cross the ocean until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Because when you're in that open water and you don't know where the direction is anymore and you got to figure it out, that's the scariest part.
Yep.
So I like that. It really takes balls. Emmy, man, we ran out of time, brother, man. I love you, man.
We got so much more we can talk about.
We got to do a part 2, man. We're going to
we got to do a part 2. We will do a part 2 for sure.
We're going to put the link in the description. If you want to get a hold of Emmy, like I said, CSMA, I highly vouch for it. My family uses it. We use it. An incredible human being. It really has a lot to give. You know, give him an ear. He'll listen. He'll listen at the same time. What he can teach is incredible. And it's an absolute pleasure, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem, brother. All love, baby.
That was awesome, bro. That was good, bro. That was awesome. Yeah, we could have kept going, eh?
I know.